This is getting on my nerves. This homework.
What is?
The homework I'm
Oh,
doing.
that sucks.
Yeah,
Which one is it? The CS or Chem
yeah,
homework?
CS, not Chem.
Oh yeah.
It's a pretty simple thing overall, because it's just asking me to find a way to reverse the order of the letters and words, but it's just annoying. Because it's not
Hmm.
reverse everything, it's either reverse the word order or reverse the letters, but not the
Oh,
words. So if the sample sentence is like uh, the one that they have is
I
Java
like
programming is
cheese.
fun, or yeah, stuff like that. It's like you have to reverse the letters, but not the words, or the words and not the letters, and it's just annoying because uh, there's no good way to do that simply, as far as I can tell. But I'm also
That
not
sounds
good at
pretty
programming.
annoying.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be partially distracted. Hopefully not. But oh well. It's like that sometimes. The joys of the joys of the little homework that I do have.
The joys
Hmm.
of learning.
The joys of learning, indeed.
I mean, I don't even know if I'm learning right now. It's just problem solving, and this is not a fun problem to solve.
Are they ever fun?
Sometimes.
That's true, I guess. I guess it's possible.
I mean, sometimes I'll have a computer science project and I'll be like, oh, this is just a fun thing to work on. And other times I'll have a computer science project and I'll be like, oh, this is the literal worst and I don't want to do any of this.
Dude, honestly, I had a problem like that too, bro. I was like not having it.
Yeah, that's just how
Oh
I
my
feel about
God.
it right now.
Why they give, oh my goodness.
I don't
Bro,
even know what
one
you're talking.
tank was not enough for this mission. Will, what have you been up to?
Nothing.
Made a video on Rocket League that I saw.
Maybe a few.
Well, I'm talking about one specific one that you
Oh,
made recently that
was it
caught my
the I
eye.
need to talk about this?
Yup. That one
Why
caught my
thumbnail
eye.
work?
It did.
I'm
I
trying to upgrade my thumbnail design.
The thumbnail game is very important, as I've actually learned recently. It's not like I'm
Mm.
doing any of it. It's just I think I didn't fully realize how important uh, thumbnails are when it comes to how much that actually impacts if people decide to click on your video or not.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of it's just pretty much advertising,
Yeah,
Hmm.
it really
and I need
is.
to hone in on it because I was like, title should do the trick. Like I look at a title, I'm like, yeah, I'd watch that, or no, I don't really want to watch that. But
Huh.
I'm a relic of times past. I'm not the current viewership, so
Really?
mm-hmm. I just look at titles and I'm like, yeah, that looks all right.
I guess that's fair. I don't know. I don't know if I really. Hmm. I definitely do pay attention to how do I put this? I pay attention to thumbnails, but they usually aren't the thing that makes me decide to click on them. Uh, though they definitely do their job of catching my eye a lot of the time. So I
Hmm.
think I agree with you on the title is
Yeah.
more important for me as to whether or not I'll end up clicking on it. But sometimes I don't even care about either. If it's from a content creator that I regularly enjoy, it'll just be like, oh, okay, time
Oh.
to
I
watch
think
their new
I think
video.
people I think
Mhm.
people look at the thumbnail like first is I think that's why people think it's so important. Like, 'cause you see the picture before you read the title, I think, for a lot of people, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a general audience, that's definitely or probably the case. And that's something that I could probably do more research on, especially as the person who is responsible for both when it comes to the podcast, which I am definitely not lazy and would. I definitely don't just use the same thumbnail every time and just whatever first title pops into my head, I put out, and then I don't change it at all, which is.
Fine.
There's a content creator that I enjoy. A man goes by the name of Doug. He's pretty cool. And he uploaded a shorter video that was basically just him talking about why he changes his thumbnails and titles sometimes. And the way he explained it was just like, when you change a thumbnail, it's like you're changing a billboard. So the entire job of the billboard is to catch people's attention, and when you change the billboard, you're catching people's attention again. So,
Just in case they didn't watch the video the first time.
yeah. So if the billboard didn't catch their eye the first time, it might catch their eye the second time around or whatever. Or in the case of people who saw it, they might be like, "Oh, this has changed now. That's weird," and then they'll click on the video again, and it's more engagement. I don't think it's like malicious, nor is in the video. I think it was just the person pointing that out was like, "Yeah, that's the entire point. It's to catch your attention. It's not like you caught me. That's the point. I can't believe you noticed the billboard," that sort of thing. But yeah, YouTube analytics are interesting.
I haven't looked at mine in a long time. I just see green number and I see gray number. Determines my mood.
No, that's bad.
Wait, I don't know
That's
what's the
very
difference.
bad. That's
what's
very
the difference?
bad.
I don't. What's
Green-
the difference?
Green number.
The
means-
green is
Oh,
good.
Yeah.
Gray
Okay.
is bad. So if I were to say something, a video is a 10 out of 10, do you think that's good or bad?
Wait, say it again. 10
If
out
a
of
video is 10 out of 10, do you think that's good or bad?
what? That's probably good, right?
That was
No,
awful.
It means
Oh.
it is
Worst.
the worst performing out of your last 10 videos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like 10th place out of 10th place.
Yep.
Ah.
I haven't had that, or at least the most
Well,
recent video hasn't been that.
Doesn't there
so
have to be a video that's 10 out of 10 then? Like,
Yes.
there has to be, and it's
but-
based off of views and the 10 out of 10 is based off of views, but if you look at your watch time, like average viewer duration and click-through rate,
Right.
that determines a
Right.
better video.
I see. Well,
Just a lot
can
of
you still
stuff.
have like your 10 out of 10 video be like not that bad or whatever? Like,
Yeah, no.
or-
People's 10 out of 10 could be my 1 out of 10.
I
just-
see.
The size of your channel and the amount of views you kind of average.
I see. Ooh,
Okay.
There's a lot into it.
Yeah.
big equation.
Mm-hmm.
But don't let the green or gray number dictate your mood, please. That's not a good thing. It's the same thing as looking at your view count while streaming, which is something that I need to never do when I go back to it. Because looking at that viewer number is bad.
I look at it just to know if like anyone is watching.
Yeah, I just think it hurts motivation sometimes. Granted,
Well-
it's also bad to have a dead chat, and that's
Yeah, I look at it
probably
because it's like,
worse.
why aren't they talking in chat? Or like, why is there still a person in chat? Because the delay is like, at least in my chat, like someone could show up and leave in like an instant, and it would still show like one or two people for like 5 minutes, 4 minutes, something like that. So like I could be talking to myself for 4 minutes just because someone said hi or something and then left. Which I don't
Yeah.
get either, why people do that.
They just check in or type of thing and they just head out.
Yeah. Like, hi.
Like,
And then never talk in chat ever again. It's like, what's the point?
Okay. I'm a lurker when it comes to basically every online media platform that I exist in, and that's just because I don't like drawing attention to myself. So occasionally when I'll find smaller content creators, especially on Twitch, I always feel weird about following because they usually have notifications on for that. And I just, it feels weird to draw attention to myself by doing that, if that makes any sense. So I don't like chatting for that same reason. Even though it's a very weird position because I do have a YouTube channel, and even though it's been inactive, I do always want to bring some attention to myself, but I don't like bringing attention to myself from chatting, if that makes sense. It's weird for me.
I see.
But
No, I completely get it. It's just it's interaction for me, and as a creator, and as also on that side of it, you know that any engagement is good.
yeah. Plus, having a chat to play off of is just good for streaming. So having a viewer that's a lurker is a little bit harder because it's hard to gauge what the viewer's doing at all.
Like it gives you more content or whatever type of thing.
Yeah, because if you have
Like
an active
helps
chat,
build.
you can play off of whatever bits they decide to make, and they can play off of your bits and stuff like that. That is the entire reason there is a chat. It is so that way you, the content creator, and the people in the chat can play off of.
Like interact or whatever.
Yeah,
Can play off of each other.
and it overall benefits to have an active chatting community that is not malicious in any way. So
Yeah, like my streamer friend that I mentioned earlier, like there'll be people sometimes that are like, yeah, I've been here this whole time, good stream, I'm gonna head out. It's like, what? Oh, you haven't.
The gaslight is real.
yeah.
But that's the part of it that I don't understand. Like when I'm in like even someone larger's chat, like there's a few Rocket League people that I've played against, and I talk in their chat sometimes. My new one of my favorite guys is I think it's Angler or something, Angel, something like that. But it's like I'm not the mod. I'm not a person in position in that chat. But I'll talk with him. I'll converse because a lot of unless you're Bryce or like John Salmon, like a lot of Rocket League chats are like not chats, but a lot of streams are like low key, like low, just music in the background kind of vibes. So like any chat interaction for a lot of those guys is like it's a lot, right? It pipes up or it lightens up the mood, and they can play and talk with people.
I see.
Because otherwise they're just sitting there by themselves, just playing.
Listening to music, playing the game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's part of the reason why I enjoyed both when I did stream. It was either playing games where the game could just take my entire focus pretty reasonably, so that would be stuff like Metroid or hack and slashes. Because even though those games are kind of mindless, you are paying a lot more attention because you're just pressing buttons a lot, if that makes any sense. But then
it's like you're not as focused on your chat or whatever because you're focused on the game.
Yeah. Whereas some other times, I mean, I'd always, I think Will can confirm this. Whenever I'd stream, I'd typically let a bunch of people know, so that way I could have at least some interaction. But sometimes I'd just be like, hey, not only am I gonna stream the game, I'm just gonna be in this VC and talk to friends while I play a game. So just having people to bounce off of always makes streaming easier, because at that point it just feels like you are talking to friends, and talking to friends makes time fly a lot faster, and it just makes it a lot more relaxing. So that's the benefit of having a chat. Not to get parasocial and say that your chatters are your friends, because that isn't totally the case. But at the very least, it makes everyone more amicable, more friendly, and it definitely lightens the mood, as you said earlier. Didn't think this is where we were going to start the podcast on, but...
Interesting place, but it is where it did start.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So hey everyone, welcome back to the Neetwork Podcast. We're talking about this, I guess?
Currently, yes.
Yeah,
This
I mean,
is-
why
that would-
not?
I mean, I think it's interesting to talk about.
It's
overall.
really interesting, because I spend a little bit of my day, a little bit of my day looking at stuff. And by the way, I have 4 hours. I don't know if you saw it, Andrew, but it was on my story. But
I have not
I
checked
have-
Instagram in a minute.
uh,
When
but-
did you post?
yesterday,
Oh yeah, I don't know. I probably did see it, but I didn't. I don't.
I didn't
remember
look. I didn't look at who saw it, but I have about 4 hours left of content to go through for a larger, more project-y video that I've been cooking up in the
it.
background.
Oh yeah, I remember. It
Yeah.
was like 6 hours of content.
Yeah, 6 hours of stuff I had to go through. I went through about 2 hours, and I got that done. Well, it's just a lot of watching me hum and sing while I try to go for one shot in training.
Mm.
So essentially what I'm
Is
doing
that
right
is
now.
that like a Rocket League move?
Yeah. Well, training is just the free play, or
Oh, like one shotting? Is that like a certain like move?
I don't know.
You're just going for like one specific play, right?
Oh yeah,
Is
Psycho.
that what that
I'm going
means?
for
Oh, I see.
Psycho is the mechanic that I was trying to do, and it's essentially I spent a whole week doing it, and like it's here's my results, that type of video.
Oh, so it's like a start to finish type of thing.
Yeah. So like day
Right.
1 I did this, day 2, 3, etc., and then the final result is this, and I aim for hitting the shot in a real game, because if I just had to hit the shot in general, I would have been finished like 20 minutes in, and that wouldn't have been a very good video.
The content would not have been very good.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you for watching.
I did always wonder why those like I spent 100 days or like those types of videos.
Oh
did
yeah, it's
so
like I
well.
spent 100 days doing 50 push-ups.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they work really well because they allow you to tell a story very, very well. It's a very good medium of just being like, yeah, this is what happened on this day, this day, this day, this day. So it streamlines the process of like story beats and stuff, because you know what happened on each day, so you can just refer back to that a lot easier.
I think
think it's
people are
cool.
also just like curious too. Like, I wonder what actually does happen
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like in 100 days.
no, that's definitely the case. I'm more so talking about from the content creator's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you're looking at it more from the viewers, it's like, oh yeah, I do wonder what would happen if I spent 100 days doing this. Whereas the content creator, it's like, oh, by doing this 100-day thing, I have easily accessible story beats, and I can. It just
Mhm.
makes more sense from like creating a story that you then tell.
Yeah.
At least
And
from my
originally, I tried to tell the story while doing the video. Like, I would do these like little intros and outros while recording. Like, okay, guys, day 2 is starting up. I'm gonna try and do this, trying to do that. And I'm looking at that now, and I'm like, why did I do that? I'm just wasting more of my time, because I'm just gonna do a whole narration over it and just be like, that's that.
Are you writing out a script for it? I'm actually curious.
I've already here. I actually have notes for it.
Okay, okay.
Dang.
So not a full-on script, but okay.
Not a full-on
Notes
script.
is pretty good.
Yeah.
This
I mean,
is-
honestly, I feel like a whole-on script would be harder because then you like have to stick to. You feel like you have
This
to
is
stick to it.
this is just the notes.
I see.
That's just what I wrote out for myself. I did that.
Alright.
I did
Nice.
that intro at like 2 in the morning, so I'm gonna like redo it all. I'm gonna redo an intro or the intro. just because it doesn't fit what I'm going for now. It fit originally, but now I kind of have to redo it and have it flow better because it doesn't sound good right now. It sounds good for an intro, like describing what I'm doing, but it doesn't add that it doesn't have my personality to it. It's just me like reading something.
Okay.
So I have to change that.
Sorry about the nitpick. I just noticed it immediately because my brain is like that.
Nothing. Bro, how did you spot that so fast?
I
Huh?
again, I don't. Day one. I do
Oh.
not know. I I don't know why my brain is like that, but it just is. Also, this is definitely not intentional. You have this later on there. That's fine. My brain just
Bro,
went to
what
this.
does that say?
Fatigue.
Fatigue,
What is
probably.
Yeah,
fatigue?
it's
Oh
meant
no,
to
I
be
was trying to
fatigue.
spell at
Fatui?
like 2 a.m.
No, I get it.
Fatui?
Don't worry. Yeah, my brain went to Fatui, which is a Genshin Impact thing. So.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't know.
Yep. Touching grass much? I
Nope,
no.
nope.
Huh.
The grass comes to me.
What? What do you mean by that?
I summon it with my creator
huh.
powers. Once a creative content creator, always in creative mode.
Makes sense to me. No.
Good.
Yeah. So how much more? You said that you were 2 hours into the 6 hours.
2 hours into the 6 hours, and
Yeah,
then I
you're a
have
third of the
to.
way done. I mean,
Yeah, and then I have to record tonight as well, and then I
oh, you
don't
have to
know.
do more recording.
Yeah, I'll have to redo the intro. I have to voice over a lot of things that I'm realizing now is gonna take a long time. But right now is the boring hours. After this, and when I collect all my like footage and clips, it'll be the fun time, because that's when I actually get to edit.
I see.
But then I
Dang,
also
sounds
have
like
to.
quite the process.
But I also have to record a video for tomorrow, or that releases tomorrow.
Hmm. I
But
see. Yeah. Oh, you
after.
do. Dang.
But after March, or not after March, when March starts, it's going to completely change. Completely redoing my schedule so I can have more creative time, I guess it'd be. Like more time to make better stuff instead of just, not variety. Instead of just numbers and the amount of things I do, it's more quality.
I see. Yeah, that sounds quite like a long process.
Yep. But it's a process I enjoy, so I'll continue it as long as I can.
Very nice.
And translate it into other games or other things. Once this game is deceased,
Wait, which game are you?
Rocket League.
Oh, you're still. I thought you started like a new game or something.
No. That's all
Are
for
you
Rocket
going
League.
to? Are you gonna start a new game?
I don't see any time in the near future because, I still have to hit my main goal in the game still. So that might take a while, but I'm willing to give it the time.
I think you'll be able to do it eventually.
Well, it's not either, as in it's going away, but I'm giving myself to the end of this year of like solid grinding, which after that, if I don't hit it for some reason, then, it's just not meant to be, but I'll still go at it,
Yeah. Also,
I mean,
apologies. My roommate did just enter the room and picked up a bunch of clothes and stuff and is doing laundry. So
Ah, yes, laundry.
you guys didn't hear anything happening.
Nope.
No.
But that's because of Discord noise suppression.
Nice. Hey, look at that. Glad to see it works, huh?
Yes. It works very well. However, it for those listening to the podcast, it will not help you as you will have definitely heard the door slam. So
Ah,
yeah,
I
that-
did not hear the door slam actually.
Yeah. So apologies about that. But I'm very excited for this for the summer because first off, my summer's long.
Your
um,
summer is long? How long is it?
14 weeks apparently.
Dang.
Yep. So that's, pretty good. That's
That is
Crazy.
quite long.
yep. That's so I get to enjoy that, which is going to be nice. So yeah, I'm planning on doing a lot more content creation stuff, and I know where it's gonna start. To it's gonna start with Pokemon stuff because uh, when I come back, I think it's gonna be the first week of May, basically, and then the last week of May, uh, and the last weekend of May. So the 25th and 26th, there's going to be a Pokemon regional in LA. So I'm gonna be doing that.
Mm. Wait, so do you
And
actually have to go to LA
yeah.
or? Oh, okay. So
I
how does that work? Do you like show up to like the giant conference like hall basically and you sit down and
yeah. I don't know. I definitely talked about how the Peoria regional worked, or I think I might have just talked about the results, but maybe not talked about how the actual tournament worked. Um,
Can't remember.
yeah. Basically, for the LA one, it's going to be at the LA Convention Center, and uh, just gonna bring my Switch, yeah, bring my Switch in my backpack and the water and stuff. Show up to the convention center, bright and early because I think the tournament itself starts at like 8:30 or something.
You.
And it's a Swiss format, so
Ooh.
basically, you will play um, every single round, and you will get matched up with someone with the same record as you. Basically, that's
Mhm.
how they work. So
Rocket League does the same thing.
yeah,
Mm.
so the more competitors there are, the longer the tournament goes. So at the regional that I went to, I got to play 9 matches. So that was kind of it was a lot because each match is a best of 3 where you bring 4 of your 6 and you're playing against the opponent. So each match can take, I think, up to like about an hour. So after those 9 matches, starting at 9 or whatever, with like an hour and a half or something lunch break, um, our day finished at like 5:30 or 6. After getting there around
Mm.
8.
Dang, that's
If
all pretty long.
Yeah, so if the LA regionals are going to be, have even more contestants, I'm scared for how long the day might go. And
You might be on a siege stream length.
yeah. And the even more scary prospect is the fact that the entire time, unless I lose like the first 3, then it makes sense to just kind of drop out. The more that you win, the more, at least for me, the more keyed up I was on adrenaline that entire time, because I was, playing for my tournament life, basically. Because losing even a single match is really rough. So, after spending an entire day just kind of hopped up on adrenaline, playing match after match after match, it's draining. Even though all you're doing is pressing buttons on a on a video game console.
It's
It
really
is-
mental.
Yeah, it is mentally draining. It is very exhausting. But it's fun. So I'm gonna do that. So I'll have like, I think 3-ish weeks to prepare, basically. Because
Gotta get grinding, son.
I'll have I'll have 3 weeks to prepare both my team and make it in game and all that before and also figuring out how I'm gonna get there, because I don't think either of my parents are going to want
Well,
to
can you drive?
Oh, I
or
can,
on your
but
own?
keep in mind
But
that's
it's LA.
driving to the LA Convention Center, which is going to be not fun, and then driving back when I'm exhausted. So, more likely I'll take a train or something, or maybe even probably not. It'll probably just be a train or me driving or something. But if need be, I could always grab a hotel room nearby under parents' name or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a train
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, the metro would work pretty well. Because I can either walk down to the metro station from where I live, or I can just get a ride or drive down there and then play for the entire day and then take the metro back or whatever. But yeah, I think I will probably take some inspiration from some other Pokemon content creators that I enjoy and try to make some content out of that entire experience. Probably not much from the. You aren't allowed to record anything at the venue.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think that's mostly because of
Security.
no. Well, I guess security for your teams. So Pokemon currently is in an open team sheet format where all 6 of your Pokemon, the moves they have, the Terra type, that stuff is all revealed to your opponent at the beginning of the match. You trade your team sheets and you can see what they have and what you might want to bring. What isn't revealed is the EV spreads. We're getting into the minutia of Pokemon right now, but
I don't even know what that means.
yeah, so in Pokemon, there's a bunch of funny little values that Pokemon have called effort values, or EVs, and I believe individual values are what IVs stand for. Yeah. So IVs can range from 0 to 31, 31 being the best, 31 being the highest, 0 being the lowest. So if you're running, generally speaking, you want 31 in health, defense, special defense, speed, special attack, and then if you're a physical attacker, you want 31 in physical attack. If you're a special attacker, you actually want that physical attack to be 0 because of other details. If you're running a very slow team, you might want your speed IVs to actually be 0 in order to be super slow, so that way when you set up Trick Room, you're actually faster. Stuff like that. EVs aren't just like a 15-point range of where your stat points are, but they directly affect how many or how much. Basically, EVs and IVs both directly impact your stats, and the way you train your Pokemon can change certain interactions. So by preventing people from recording matches, you won't be able to find out if a Pokemon lives certain hits because of their EV spread, or how much they live it by. Stuff like that. So it's to prevent competitive advantages, as far as I know. It might also just be because the Pokemon Company wants to reserve all recordings for themselves, which I think is fine, ultimately. They stream the whole tournament, but...
Oh, yeah. So they can
probably
get it,
makes sense,
gather all the viewers for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense to begin with to not be able to stream there, but it's also just kind of difficult. It would be difficult to record it anyway, because all the switches are in handheld mode, meaning you'd have to record with your phone, and at that point, that gets to be uncompetitive. So, long rant over. Basically, why is the Pokemon game so exhausting and so weird when it's literally a kid's game, and kids also compete, which is even funnier to see. Because they have 3 different
Wait, so
divisions.
is there like restrictions on it? Like
Yeah,
who
it was
goes
like
and
the
stuff?
age.
Yeah, so
thing.
there are 3 different divisions for all 3 competitive scenes as far as I know, because there's the competitive scene for Pokemon Go, the competitive scene for VGC, which is the video game that's currently out, so in this case it's Scarlet and Violet, and then there's the trading card game. And the trading card game is actually the most popular when it comes to the competitive scene. But the different divisions are the Junior, Senior, and Masters division. And, as far as I know, so the Junior division is those that were born in 2012 or later.
Oh, not you.
Yes. So keep in mind, that is 12-year-olds and younger that are competing.
Dang.
Younger?
Yes.
Are they in like the same building as you, or like separated? Or...
Yes, but in a different place usually. Seniors division is those born in 2008 to 2011, so that would be 13 to 15-year-olds, and then Masters division is 16-year-olds and older.
They're a master.
Yeah, I'm in the Masters division, which is the most competitive one, which I think is fair to say. But it's fun to watch the Juniors division play, especially the Juniors division finals, because even though I can see how I'd be able to beat them, if I know that if I was even a little bit worse at the game, the strategies that they use would absolutely destroy me. So that's a funny thing to think about. Why are these 12-year-olds good at the game? Seriously, some of the strategies they use is weird. I mean, it's almost always... Yeah, the game plans they use are almost always a lot more simple. So they'll almost always bring, like, the same floor regardless of the team they're playing against, and they will almost always just use the same plan that they have. But if you aren't prepared for that plan, which you might not be when you're that young because you don't know how to consider all the options, you just get overwhelmed very quickly. I'll see if I can... actually, maybe I won't. maybe that's something I'll just share
Children
with you another time.
playing Pokemon.
I mean, all I'd really look up is just, like, insert the name of a regional here, and then just junior division finals. Like, it's that simple. So, I think the most recent one might be Charlotte Regionals. So, here, let me see if I can find... But you said Rocket League was also a Swiss format?
Yeah, it's good when we get to Swiss. Because before that, it's double elimination, and whoever wants to sign up can join, as long as they're Plat 1, I think. So literally, first regional back. Well, there's also splits, and I don't know how long a split is anymore, because it used to be a split is just the first part of the year, and the second split is the second part of the year. But now that we only have 2 regionals and a world worlds event, I don't know what a split is considered anymore.
Wait, there's only 2 regions? Wait, what do you mean? Like, there's 2 regions? Or regional rounds?
There's 2 majors, not majors. Majors, not regionals. But there's regionals for every region, right? NA, EU, MENA, APAC, SSA, Sub-Saharan Africa, and SAM, South America. And each one has a regional, and you stack your points in your region, and then... Well, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So essentially, to make it to the regional, you have to win a double elimination 2 or 3 day bracket of however many teams sign up for that region. And regional 1 for North America, when we came back after the almost 8-month break, was 900 NA teams signed up. So that's literally everyone from Plat to the top pros. that signed up. And that's only because they removed 2 million in prize pool to give to top 128 in NAEU. I think it's top 64 in the other regions, and then I think maybe even less for the other regions. But essentially, they completely messed everything up, and now everything is just a double elimination Wednesday, Thursday, or no, today was I think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Swiss and Championship finals is on Saturday and Sunday. And those just get you regional points, or points for your region. And then all those points add up for, I think, 3 weeks, and then there's a major. And then the major's in a few weeks from now. But there has to be, like, the pros are playing every weekend for until the major.
Dang, that sounds like complex.
And then I think there's 2 weeks off or a week off or something, and then it's back to it until the next major. And then it's back to getting points. I think that's how it works, getting points. It's the first rendition of this new format. So we're just not even getting to Major 1 because there was Regional 2 for NA and EU and everyone else this weekend. But NA plays a week before everyone. So this, as soon as we hit the week, it will be Regional 3 for NA. And then the week after that, it's Regional 3 for EU, everyone else. And then it's major time. And then it's like that, repeating, and then we get to Worlds. I don't know how they stage 2 Worlds. I'd assume it's the same thing, just more regionals. And then Worlds, and then another 6-7 month off season. So essentially I'll be watching pro play until I think it's June, August, somewhere around there, and then we don't get stuff till January, I think. So it's honestly quite an awful situation.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Sounds awesome to me.
Yeah. Awesome as a viewer, horrible for pros, because for that off season, if you don't have a contract or if you're not signed to anything, you make no money.
Okay, yeah,
unless you have a channel.
Yeah, that's really bad.
That does not sound good. Wait, they don't get.
They don't get.
They
nothing.
legit just don't make money.
They don't make money. You could be a top 16 team in your region, and you could make no money, just because you're not on an org or you don't have a contract.
Bruh, sounds terrible.
Like essentially, if you're outside the top 25, I think it is, at least in NA, you will make no money.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah, does not sound ideal.
But it's apparently the Fortnite way, because, you know, the cash cups and everything that, you know, we used to do every so often.
Yeah.
That's the system they're trying to bring into Rocket League, and clearly it is not working. But they don't care. So.
That sucks.
Dang. So why don't they get any money? They just do it for free?
Well, they don't have an option. If they don't have a contract and they're not signed to a top contending team, top paying team, the only way that they can make it is at least make some money is if they have Twitch, Kick, YouTube, whatever.
Or it's like a stream. They stream, basically.
Yeah.
But at that point, why wouldn't you just stream full time, since that's generally more lucrative, correct?
Yeah.
depends
Well, if you're not
if your
making
name's
money
out
off of the
there.
tournament, like,
Yeah, if you're not a top contending team, like AK, you can't make into. Well, nowadays it's top 128, which every pro team makes it to top 128. Uh, you'll. What was I saying?
I don't know.
We'll never know.
That's right. Money from teams versus streaming.
Yeah, money versus team. Money on teams guaranteed. Money on the streams not guaranteed. No matter who you are in the scene, you could be, well, I was gonna say you could be Zen, but Zen is everywhere right now. But you could be like, give me, give me someone in your guys' scenes that like, but like not a lot of people know, or not a lot of people watch.
Jeez, I don't even know.
Someone from I
don't know any like that.
I feel like League is generally pretty different between the streamers and the pro players.
Yeah, it's like very like separate.
But someone that's well known within the competitive scene that doesn't have much of an online presence.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of Smash players used to be like that because they just weren't entertaining as a player to watch. I'm trying to think about anyone. I know that there
Well,
are...
let's take that person for example, like that example of they're on a good team, or they're a really good player, but they don't command that much like content. But imagine they weren't signed to a team, right? A org, whatever you want to call it. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah, that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First, I'll just put that there for you guys.
What is this?
I'm
What the
not
heck?
watching
That's a thing
that.
that I had mentioned
Oh,
earlier.
dude, that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's
I'm
gonna
not
get me
watching it.
arrested.
Yeah, dude, that looks.
No,
that,
it's not.
That looks like a meme video. I'm not gonna lie.
It's funny too because it says the official Pokemon YouTube channel. That's literally what the official Pokemon YouTube channel is called. I wish I was
believe
joking.
it.
But
Well,
that's...
there's everyone with like Vivo, like
Yeah.
Alicia Keys Vivo. So I don't.
But yeah, that's just a video of the juniors finals from NAIC, which is North America International Championship. So, yeah. On a slightly different note, but still relating to esports, do you guys also, this might just be a me thing, do you guys pay attention to stats of like what, when it comes to League and Overwatch and Smash, like what characters more people end up playing and what people end up either building or how they play the character throughout time? Because stuff like that is interesting to me. I don't know.
Not really.
I don't know what the
Kind
equivalent would
of?
be
I'm
in
guessing you
Rocket
do.
League.
It's the casters do all that. There's a analyst for that. So there's also the scoreboard. Like after the match, they just pop up the scoreboard. Oh, beast mode or whoever just got like 4 saves that game. That's gonna tally up to their total. And of course, if it's a rivalry or something, or just a game, they'll just be like, yeah, no, over his career, this guy has like 500 saves and is like top ranked in saves out of like every pro. And then they'll just be like, yeah, no, he has essentially just basic stats of like he has a not a 4, but a 3 saves per game average. He has a 40% shooting rate. Simple, like classic sports like stats.
Yeah, that's more individual player sort of stats though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The thing, okay, individual stats do interest me, but I guess because the games I play are generally like League and Overwatch, what interests me more is usually what characters are being played and why that's the case. So I'm wondering if there's any good analogy I can make to any, like, normal sport, or something like that, so I could draw a fair comparison.
I mean,
But
it'd be play styles, but that's not really like
I think
stats. That's just like how they play.
Yeah, but I think that's similar enough because usually the characters you end up picking dictate the playstyle you're going for. So in
Mhm.
Overwatch, when you're picking a bunch of high mobility characters, you're generally playing a dive playstyle, which is just everyone uses their movement to get onto one target and eliminate that target, and then uh, you know get away before you can get collapsed on yourself or whatever. So I think playstyle actually would be an apt comparison. So it'd be like one team that focuses solely on defense versus one team that focuses solely on offense. Why they do that sort of thing and what they end up doing that makes their playstyle better, or why their playstyle works. That sort of thing just interests me a lot more than individual player stats, because those can differ greatly from game to game, because someone can just be on in one game and sometimes that person might not be, performing as well. But seeing a whole bunch of people opt towards a similar play style, or in Leagues or Overwatch case, seeing everyone gravitate towards the same sort of character picks and why that's the case, I think that usually interests me more because that usually says something about the game itself rather than uh, like individual people. Because some people are just cracked out of their mind on like one specific character, which is
Oh
cool.
yeah,
But
for sure.
I'm always more interested in the like why is
team
it that
aspect.
why is it that everyone plays the game this way, or why is it that everyone gravitates towards these characters or bans these characters, like that sort of thing just interests me a lot more because I'm a nerd.
It makes sense. I mean, it's difficult for Rocket League to do that in great detail because every single person plays the game differently. And when you combine that into a team element, it creates, and there's this kind of thing going on right now that's like each region plays the game a different way, which is totally true, and there's definitely different playstyles per each game mode as well,
Okay,
which
wait.
is also really cool.
That's actually really interesting that you bring that up because there's a very similar thing in Overwatch actually. In general, APAC teams will gravitate towards dive. NA teams gravitate towards brawl, and EU teams gravitate towards poke. I have no idea why that is, but I think there might even be a similar thing in League too. I think in general everyone tries to copy China and Korea because they're considered to be the best regions, but usually
Yeah,
whenever
I think they are
yeah,
probably like.
I think they are too, but whenever an NA or EU team does well, it's almost always because they're breaking the mold of whatever those two regions have set. So I'm actually, I don't know if it's cultural. I doubt it would even be a. I mean, I guess it would have
There's
to be.
different tactics, I guess.
Yeah, but why is it that EU gravitates towards certain playstyles, and why is it that NA gravitates towards certain playstyles? Like, that sort of question interests me a lot more than just like why is it that these players are better than these players, if that makes sense. Because I feel like that mostly comes down to equipment, ability to play the game more, that sort of thing. Like, those questions can be answered a little bit easier than just, okay, why is it that the game is being played this way? Again,
I mean,
nerd.
I look at it too. I notice it too, for my own game. but for just on the gameplay, like different game modes, like let's take ones for example, and that's basically you as a player against someone else as a player, right? You're going against their playstyle with your playstyle. Sometimes playstyles don't clash, or they can clash well, and actually have an image.
Yeah?
Oh, let me pull it up. It should be here.
I got the sentence word reverser to finally work.
There we go. So, I was playing ones earlier today, and that happened. But
Huh.
it's like I'm trying to adapt a aggressive EU type of gameplay, and you know, as an NA mold, it's gonna be really hard because
Yo,
NA.
bro, what is that score is not fair, dude. What is that? You like triple him almost.
I looked at the chat.
Well,
That
I
was a
scored 3
mistake.
goals. Yeah, the whole thing was a chat.
Bro,
I don't.
Rope yourself. I don't even know what
That's
that means.
That's pretty
You
creative.
don't know what that
honestly.
means?
You don't get
Nah.
it?
I do get it,
Okay.
but it's like he's getting creative.
Yeah,
I know.
avoiding chat bans, except
Mhm.
I don't even think that works to avoid a chat ban.
It
Depends
has.
on
I
how
haven't gotten a
advanced.
notification.
Well,
Oh.
Usually I get a notification if someone gets like, because there's also voice chat bans, text bans. Like you're not just banned from the game.
Oh. Yeah,
Back in
yeah.
my
League has
day,
that too. League has
You could
that
say
too.
something very mean, and you just couldn't play the game for a week.
I think we should go back to that. Actually,
I don't.
I think you shouldn't be allowed to play the game if you're me. If you are
But
me,
going back to
bad. Sorry.
But yeah, going back to the play style thing, is I'm trying to adapt a EU type of gameplay where it's faster. Like a lot of NA is just how mechanical are you, aka how flashy of a player are you, and it doesn't progress you in any sort of way rank wise. It just looks cool.
Mm.
And a lot of the top like MENA ones players, or MENA, however you want to say it, are like that. Like there's a lot of like up and comers and like just really good mechanical players that don't stand a chance against the actual like rank grinders like pro players, just because their game sense and awareness isn't as good as the pros, right? And pro game sense and everything is just insane.
Yeah.
But EU is, especially in ones, more grounded than NA. So essentially, they don't jump, they don't go for the flashy aerial plays as much. Of course, there's always those opportunities to, if they go for them. But a lot of NA is just how flashy of a player are you and how good does it look, regardless of your rank. And people will judge you based off of how. It's essentially a sickness and a disease. And it's infested this continent or whatever. But
Damn.
country. But EU is more like fast paced, more methodical, more
I think
just
it's more
overall
strategic.
better. Yeah, they think
Yeah.
more strategically for this game at least. Like teams will break down defenses, and NA is just who can 1v3 better. Unless you're G2, which is a super team right now, which is essentially Daniel, aka one of the greatest phenoms of all time for this game. One's main can 1v3 a lot of the teams. Beast mode, same thing, great player. And then Tomic, who is their worst player and is still like one of the best players of all time.
That's wild.
So- And then there's another counterpart, which is Genji, who is where there's Appjack, Chronic, and First Killer, which all have the same resume as G2, but they're just that little bit worse that their just results haven't. The results aren't as good as the team they are on paper, right? First Killer is former. I think he's a regional winner or at least a major winner. Appjack, same thing. Chronic, same thing as Appjack. But and then there's a difference. Like there's G2, Gen G, and then everybody else on paper. But come gameplay, game time, Swiss, and the qualifiers, Gen G hasn't done anything that impressive. They've made it to quarters, or I think they made it to semis. I'm pretty sure. But you know they should be, if not finishing first, they should be finishing second. But that also gives way to teams that you know you wouldn't think do as well are doing really good, and it's great as a viewer to watch these games. But as a player, as a pro, I'd be very upset.
I can imagine.
And then there's EU, which has so much depth to it. Like the amount of talent there is insane. It just goes to everyone's heads. That's like just will do everything for EU. Like there's the people there like, oh yeah, like there's a while back there's like this guy that's like, oh yeah, this looks like EU Diamond. Like my like higher level like to use videos. I'm like, Blood has never been out of Diamond in his life. He do not know what he's talking about.
Well, what?
But there's so much depth at the top level of EU that NA just lacks. That gives him that edge over NA. And then Mina it has the talent of EU, but it lacks the amount of like people. It lacks the depth.
Mina?
But yeah, Saudi Arabia, places like that.
I see.
Middle East, essentially. MENA.
ME. Okay, that's what was throwing me
Yeah.
off.
What is-
Okay, Middle East and North Africa.
ME. Oh, Middle East, North.
Okay,
I was
that
like,
makes
what?
sense.
What is MENA? I was like,
Yeah.
I see.
Okay, now we have to ask: is the Australia region called Australia or Oceania?
OCE.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Dude,
They
I
don't-
believe
they don't
have
show
an
up much.
Africa. I don't even think League has an Africa region, does it?
That's a good question. Let me check that right now.
I googled it. Let's see. They have.
I don't think so.
they don't have an SSA.
No, they do have Latin America though.
There's
Normally-
EU West, EU East, NA Korea, Oceania. I don't know. There's Russia. I don't know what BR is. LAS and LAN.
BR is Brazil.
Oh.
So they have
I'm
separate
pretty sure. Yeah, Latin America and Brazil are different.
for
Here.
Rocket League. It's just all of Sam.
Oh, there's a separate region for like where Panama is and like where Mexico is. It's kind of weird. LAN and LAS is like Lower America North and Lower America South, I guess, or something.
Again, I'm pretty sure
There's
most of them are just
OCE.
like where enough players actually. League also has a bunch of problems when it comes to LCS, which is supposed to be the North American teams, but oftentimes it just ends up being like a cushy retirement place for anyone that wants to get the bag without having to actually try anymore, because NA teams pay way too much for like former LCK players, especially like really good LCK players, and they will pay a lot, but they just don't have the coaching staff or like the proper support to actually enable the teams to do well. It's it's pretty bad, at least in my opinion.
That's what some people have done, I think. I'm not sure. But the scene is still not old enough to like say people can retire and like switch regions. But there's a lot of like cross-region trades that happen.
With a Swiss.
That was loud. I clicked on a game, and
Yeah.
instantly got
What'd you
blasted.
click on?
Just a league game, but just like looking at this one between FlyQuest and Immortal, two players, Jensen and Buipo, I'm pretty sure, were both. I'm pretty sure they were both in LEC before coming over to the LCS, and I mean, nothing wrong with getting the bag. It's just it sucks that that's what the NA region is basically, because I'm sure that there are plenty of people who would be interested in playing for the LCS when it comes to actually competing, but why would you try to foster the up-and-comers when you can instead leech off of other regions' talents that want the money you're offering, sort of things. It's weird.
Yeah, I see. I think that's very true.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
The other link I put in there was just the thing I'll look at for a league when it comes to what champions are getting chosen a lot and stuff like that. And
yeah, pick
that,
rate. I look at like tier lists. Kind of. That's about it, though.
I think tier lists are good, but there's always going to be a difference between what certain people, well, not just pro play, but also what certain people value as being better than other things.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's very general. I think they're very general. It's just what they are.
I think they try to be, but I don't know if that's often the case. There's also just such a discrepancy between certain ranks. Like if you look at one of the more common tier lists ones for League, which is U.GG. If you look at the tier list for Emerald Plus versus Diamond Plus or Challenger Plus, or not Challenger Plus. Even like the tier above Diamond, which I think is just Master or something.
Yeah, it's just Master. It's Master.
Yeah, the difference between those two tiers, or those two tier lists, is actually a lot. And knowing that that's the case, it's always like, okay, I understand that everyone's trying to emulate the pros, and that makes sense, but also certain characters are just so much better in pro play because of the things that pros are able to, I guess, abuse in their kits that the average person can't. So, for instance, Ashe currently in pro play, both Ashe and Varus have had like a really high presence, and that's partially because as a bot laner you can get priority with them. I think it's because like you can get priority quickly, and they have good poke, and they have good early levels, and they scale pretty well, like a bunch of stuff, but you can't capitalize on every advantage unless you're good enough at that character and at the game as a whole. So same reason why looking at Smash tier lists don't work very well, which is actually where tier lists originated from, by the way.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually. I could see that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it originated from Smashboards, because Smash Melee, it was a continuous debate as to who the best character is, and ultimately, I'm actually curious, do you know who the best, widely regarded to be the best character in Smash Melee is?
No.
Smash Melee, not
Ultimate.
I don't know. Not Ultimate. Not Ultimate.
Oh, Smash
Melee.
I don't know.
Melee's the one on the GameCube.
Oh, dude, I have no idea.
Okay.
Steve.
Do you know who who is widely regarded to be the best character in Smash Brawl, and it isn't even close?
Oh, Brawl Meta Knight, right?
Yes, it is Meta Knight.
Yeah.
Do you know who
I knew that one.
Do you know who Smash 4's is?
No.
There are actually two options here. You can go with the one that is good in everyone's hands, or the one that is good in pro players' hands.
Scorpion.
That's a
Meta
different
Knight,
game, man.
I guess.
No. So Smash Melee, it's Fox. Smash Brawl, it's okay. I just remembered.
Fox, huh?
The original Smash Bros, the best character is Pikachu. I think it's like Pikachu and Kirby are the best two in the original Smash Bros. Smash Melee, it's Fox. Smash Brawl, it's Meta Knight. Smash 4, it's actually Cloud and Bayonetta. And then Ultimate, it's like Game & Watch, Steve, and Sonic. I think it's mostly Game & Watch and Steve, though. Those are the best two in Ultimate, but it is...
Mr. Game & Watch is just funny.
Okay, Game & Watch is funny until you play against him, and then you're like, I never want to play this game again. This character is annoying.
Yeah, but it's funny when to watch. Like,
No, it isn't. It isn't funny to watch.
I don't-
Nine.
really, really, I think it's funny watching other people play him. Like,
Okay, I'd recommend. Well, I guess to each their own, and I'm not gonna take that away from people. But if you want to ever watch what Game and Watch is like, just look up any Meister set from Smash Ultimate currently, and you will see the way Game and Watch plays is not that entertaining. It's a lot more
Oh.
entertaining to watch early Smash Ultimate than it is to watch current Smash Ultimate. For me anyway, just because older Smash Ultimate was more rushdown focused, whereas now it's a lot more about punish game. And whenever a game becomes super focused on punishing the opponent by waiting for them to make a move, that isn't as fun. I think you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's more.
Sometimes it
I
can be
don't
very
know
fun,
what the word is, but
just watching people wait around and trying to capitalize on mistakes, if both people are doing that, it's not that fun, whereas trying to force mistakes from the opponent by rushing at them, I think is more fun to watch anyway, even if it isn't as fun to play. Because
So that's why I've never played online versions of like Ninja Storm 4, like Mortal Kombat or Injustice. It's just, or even the Demon Slayer game. It's like, I don't know, it's just boring to me. But I don't mind watching and playing it every now and then, just mix it up. But playing that slow game of like, I'm gonna wait for you to mess up. It's just ones in Rocket League. It's like I rather play it.
no, I get that. That makes sense to me.
You watch the opponent flip, and then you're like, oh well, he can't do this. Might as well just shoot it. And I know he jumps, so he only has one other option. So it's a goal for me.
Yeah. I do think being able to capitalize on mistakes and to work on your punish game is rewarding. It's just not fun to watch. So, yeah. I think we're in agreement on that. So,
Yes.
yeah, I think that makes sense.
no need to hammer the point home.
Ones
But
is
yeah.
such an awful game mode.
Ones?
Yeah.
Ones? Is that 1v1s you mean?
Yeah.
Like 2v1? Wait, why is that so bad? Why is that? Because in duos, don't you have to like pray you get a good teammate then?
I'd rather have luck of the draw because I'm at the state in the game where it's either my fault or my teammate's fault, or the opposing team is just that much better. Because it's a close game, or it's we've made a mistake, and as I said, they've capitalized on it. But there's always a reason to why you lost. Like you either overcommitted there, didn't rotate in time, wasn't positioned correctly. Like there's things that you can do to improve, like just looking at your gameplay at this rank. And that's why 2s is more fun, because 1s is just, oh, the 50 didn't go well. I lost the 50-50, and I get scored on.
Okay.
At least where I'm at in the ranks.
I can see, I guess. That makes sense.
I'm gonna stop ranting about 1s.
Yeah, teammates matter a lot. Like, they basically determine the game in League almost.
Yeah, it's very easy to have one bad teammate to throw an entire game. It's a very careful mix when it comes to team-based multiplayer games, because on the one hand, when everyone's working together, that feels really good.
Yeah, when everyone does well.
Yeah, not even necessarily when everyone does well, just if everyone is able to work together, that feels good.
Yeah, or when there's like good synergies and stuff too.
Yeah, the issues typically arise in a game when one person can throw the entire game, but one person can't carry the entire game. It's an imbalance like that. So, I mean, it might just be negativity bias, where everyone is more prone to noticing and paying attention and being upset about bad things than they are to noticing positive things. But it is the case in a lot of multiplayer games where You can have one person that throws, and even if you are doing everything in your power to carry it, doesn't matter, because
Yeah.
the negative impact is greater than the positive impact you're having. Which is especially the case in League, to be totally clear. But I do understand that, or from what I can tell about Rocket League, ones does seem like a very unfun game mode, because it's basically just wait to see what the opponent does, capitalize on whatever they do, and then turn that into your own victory. It just
Yeah.
seems...
Like boring, you mean?
Yeah,
It's
it just seems like it's
It's-
so reliant on punishing the opponent for trying to do something, which I guess is ultimately what every what every 1v1 comes down to. It's never how can I, or it never really seems like how can I force the opponent to make a mistake. It almost always feels like a wait for the opponent to make a mistake that you can capitalize on.
Oh, like pray they're bad.
No, not even pray that they're
not
bad.
even that.
You just have to hope, not even hope, you just have to wait to see the opponent do one thing wrong, and then punish them for that. That's it.
I started up a screen share just to like prove my point of like why ones is such an awful game mode.
Yeah.
It's like I'll just look at my goals here. Like, the reason I scored this, hit the ball too far, I can get there, I pinch it, and I'm just there. And guess where the opponent is?
Nowhere near you.
Not able to defend the net. Like, his net is there, he's here, that ball is going fast enough to go right in. Right? He can't do anything there. Let's see this save. I'm trying to get him to flick it. He flicks it. Boom. I have instant time, instant child, because usually I get instant child and I get scored on, so might as well do it again. He didn't jump there, so I'm like, okay, I can go. I can keep pressure up. I'm low on boost, but since I'm right here, I'll just double jump and hit it over him.
That's a crazy move, I think.
I think there it definitely seems like you outplayed him, but in the first fight, it was literally just, oh, he made the first move, and you were able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you kind of just lose there, bro. Like, that really sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that is just the way most 1v1s end up working out, though. It's never how... It almost always feels like 1v1s are going to be more punish game favored than forcing a mistake from the opponent, sort of things.
I think so. Unless you're, like, really confident or whatever.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's still very possible, but it seems like that's how 1v1s sort of gravitate.
Yeah, like for this play right here, I'm trying to like make him give up the ball. Like, this is like I called a fake challenge. Like I'm faking like, oh my month, oh, when I'm gonna go, oh, well, and then he gets a bad flick. Like I'm giving up my goal. All he has to do is flick this ball to the left, but I know he can't really do that because of this play right here. He has to go back and grab his boost. I have full boost. He grabbed the mid boost. I'm going up. He jumps, uses boost, use more boost a turn. So I know he's low-ish. And then I just like, oh, when are you gonna flick? Oh, and then I see him use some boost, so he's gonna go for power, and that's where I distance. So I'm able to save it. And then I'm at a position where I can go to the ball. He does pick up my boost, but I just keep my aggression up and make him like get rid of the ball. Like I could take a shot here. I take a really horrible shot. Should have put that in.
Oh no, what happened?
That was unfortunate.
It just saves it.
It sucks.
But then right here, I'm like, okay, I'm out of boost, out of position. He gives it up to me. I'm like, uh-oh, I have no boost. He gets that bad touch, and that's where I'm like, okay. If that ball didn't pop,
bro.
if that ball didn't pop, if that ball stayed like right here, where I imagine he wanted to do that, this is not a goal for me. But because I'm there, I'm close enough to it,
Dude,
I can
that's gotta
score
be
it.
so upsetting, bro.
And then he forfeits and leaves.
Dude,
With 3 minutes on the clock.
He is not pleased.
There's another thing to be said about competitive games now. It genuinely feels like people have way worse it's something that I've noticed more recently. But if one thing goes wrong, people just want to give up immediately. It's so bad.
Oh yeah,
It's
League of
actually
Legends,
so
bro. It
bad
just
now.
dies once. FF.
Yeah, I
Leaves
don't
game.
know why that's the case. Maybe it is just
Dude, the mental and gold elo is terrible.
the mental in every elo is terrible. The mental of
Yes.
people who play competitive games is terrible because they don't want to blame them. They don't want to admit fault. They want to blame those around them. That's part of the appeal of team-based games. It's never always my fault because my teammates can always do more, right?
Exactly.
But
And I will not lie, I played a Who's game last night where I had 16 points. And
Is that
if
a
you
lot?
saw the
Like 16
16?
scores, you mean?
16 points, yeah, 16 score.
Like goals? Bruh.
No. Goals are goals.
Oh.
Points are based
okay.
off of things you do in the game.
That
I had
was
16
confused for a
points.
moment
Is that a
too.
lot? Is that a lot?
You get 2 points for touching the ball.
Okay.
So no.
So I touched the ball roughly 8 times.
Okay.
The game didn't go on long, but believe it or not, that game was not my fault. My teammate kept hitting the ball to the opponent. He kept
Oh,
giving up possession of the
That's
ball.
crazy.
And he just
Wait, so
kept...
I'm guessing 16 isn't a lot then, based on.
No, I hit the ball 8 times,
abysmal.
I have 16 points.
It's abysmal.
Okay.
Just like you
Okay,
can
so
play the
I
game
was
for
about
10
to say that
seconds.
doesn't sound right.
Yeah, no, if I pull up a replay, like my goal, like my bare minimum is like 150 in 5 minutes. Like that's
Dang.
astonishingly low. 150 in 5 minutes. So we go to this 2-0 game and I just scrub all the way to the end here. Get there. There we go. And I pull up the scoreboard. Me and my teammate have a combined 1,100 points. I dropped 565 and my teammate dropped 680.
Dang, bro. That's crazy.
16 is nothing.
I'm guessing you won.
I won that. That was a 4-0 game for us.
Oh, nice.
But the opponents weren't good. We were the... That's also another thing with, like, just ranked games in general. Like, no matter what game, unless for some reason they have perfect matchmaking queues. That lobby was on average I think it was on average a 1640 lobby. Me and my teammate were at 17, I think the average was like 1720 for us. And then the opponents were like 1570 and like 1680. Like, we should not have faced those guys.
Jeez.
So essentially 1700 GC3 versus 1570, which is just barely in GC2, and a like mid to high GC2. Like, we should not match up against those guys.
The MMR was not correct.
MMR was not correct. The skill base was not matchmaking.
Kill base was not met.
SBMM failed.
Mm-hmm.
Surely that never happened, right?
Surely. But then I don't mind it when I get into higher lobbies, though. It's like me 1700 peaked 1800 player. When I get into the nowadays 1800 lobbies, I'm like, this is where the game gets fun. This is where the game makes sense.
Oh, I see.
Of course, I don't do as well, but it's a learning opportunity for me.
I think I'm always more infinitely scared of whenever the game decides that I'm going to be the carry in a game than when
that is really scary for me too.
Yeah, I don't know if that happens often in League, but I know that it happens in Overwatch. Overwatch has also just kind of reconfigured the competitive system now, so it tells you a lot more. It tells you more stuff now than it used to.
I think the scary thing is
sometimes now
like
tells you like sorry, the team you're playing against is just straight up better than you, so if you win it's a reversal, and if you lose it's an expected loss, so you lose less. Stuff like that. So I have to assume that also happens in other games too, where it's just like, yeah, we're gonna put you against a slightly better team, and if you win this, then we'll put you against a team that's even better than that, and then we'll keep doing that until we find like where your sweet spot for matchmaking is. So
yeah, no, I think the scary thing is when you check your teammates' win rates and stuff, and they're all lower than you, and the enemy team is like all like on a a multiple game win streak.
I don't know. I think just knowing that the game has decided that I'm the highest ranked player on my team, meaning the game thinks I'm supposed to be the carry, that always terrifies me.
I could, yeah.
I never want to be the carry, no matter how well I may perform. I never want to be considered by the game itself to be the carry of my team. Because
Yeah, because
I
that
don't
means your
think I'm up
teammates are
for
all
it.
supposed to be worse than you.
Well, it's not just that. It also is just like, oh, I don't think I'm good enough for that. This should never be the case. I never think I'm good enough to be the carry, personally. So, those
Me
matches,
too.
yeah.
It's like I have that mentality about like every single game I go into. I'm like, if I swear if I'm the highest MMR in this lobby is cooked. Like,
Yeah,
Like-
I think I have a similar feeling about that.
like if I'm the best player in the lobby, like on average, I think I'm like, if you go into the lobby and you think you're the worst player, and you do good, then that makes you feel even better, right? But if you go into the lobby and you see everyone lower than you, like MMR or whatever you want to call it wise, and you do as bad as them, it's like, what am I doing?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's the sort of thing where if you are lower ranked than everyone, then you can only have neutral to positive experiences. Whereas if you're the highest ranked, you can only have negative to neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Because a win is neutral, because that's expected, and then a loss is negative. Whereas if you're on the lower end, a loss is neutral because that's expected, and then a win is positive because that wasn't expected.
Yup.
Uh,
And that's where Smurfs come in.
Smurfs are just people who want to enhance their egos, and that's it. But it leads to a funny thing in League where people will claim to be on a Smurf, which that's always funnier to me than actual Smurfs are not fun to play against at all. People who pretend to be on a Smurf so they can be like, oh, I'm actually a higher rank than you, that stuff's funny. Because those people are almost always the ones that do the worst in the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, oh, you must be having a really bad day if you're losing to people that are so far below your own rank, right? Surely it's not your own fault, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you would think.
It's always just people, or it's almost always just people who. Smurfs are a complicated issue, but I don't like actual Smurfs. People who claim to be on a Smurf are amusing to me because it's almost always not true.
Dude, there's so many of those. Like when I hop on my alts and I play with like my slightly lower ranked friends, it's like who's because in Rocket League, at least to me, I can tell quite easily who's a Smurf and who isn't. Just based off their movement around the field and their decision making, like just alone, mechanics doesn't matter. Like people peek all the time. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna think, oh, that guy hit like a really fancy shot. He's obviously high ranked. I'm like, okay, can he consistently do this? Because if you're consistently mechanical, then in my opinion, you're at least a slightly better player than you currently are, like rank wise. Like that's why I don't think I'm the best player. But it's like if I see someone zap dashing, wave dashing, essentially fast movements around the field just to keep up their momentum, like, okay, this guy's a better player than I possibly am, like rank wise. So I'll be like, okay, I'll just watch them more, and if I see them going for like crazy things, positioning correctly, and like just being a smart overall player, I'm like, okay, there's a higher chance he's a Smurf. But there's also the other side of it where I'm on my main and someone is like, yeah, no, I'm on my ult right now. I'm usually a this amount of MMR. And I'm like, okay, okay. He didn't play that much different than me. Maybe a little bit faster, but... And then that gives me hope, right? It's like these people that are like higher ranked than me are only this much better than me. It gives me hope.
Yeah.
That's the other side of it.
That is a fair other side to it. We've actually been talking for an hour and a half, by the way.
Oh,
Ah.
bruh.
Yup. So I think that's where we're gonna wrap this one up. I think I came into this thinking we were going to talk about
Yeah, did you FNAF
history and
stuff,
Five Nights
right?
at Freddy's.
Oh, I forgot about that.
We'll save that for next time. Surely we'll get around to it next time. Surely.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can do,
it's
we
in
can
the
do a
bank.
YouTube intro for that.
Yeah, but I mean, this time we just talked about content creation
Streaming, yeah.
and also
Esports.
and
Yeah.
gaming stuff. So very online-centered episode, which I think checks out because Neetwork.
Because who talked the most?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you all for listening to this episode of the Neetwork Podcast. Hope you all enjoyed, and we will see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Yes, sir.
Jenna.